Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Harita and today I will be presenting a paper Understanding Open Exploration in a Classroom, which was written along with my colleague Aloka Kanhere. Feynman says that teachers' belief about mathematics and mathematics teaching and their own ideas of effective mathematics teaching is associated with teachers' classroom practices. Ernest, in his 1991 paper, also argued that the mathematics teacher's belief system has three parts: teachers' ideas of mathematics, teachers' ideas of teaching of mathematics, teachers' idea of learning of mathematics, and teachers' ideas of learning of mathematics. Even Polly has suggested that discovery-oriented teachers view mathematics as a set of knowledge best learned through the student-guided exploration. In this study, we looked at an activity aimed at encouraging mathematical processes through student exploration. The activity was conducted with two different sets of children by two different teacher researchers. The way the teachers designed the course of their classrooms indicates teachers' own belief of mathematics and mathematics education. Specifically, we intend to know how open exploration tasks allow teachers to design their classrooms based on their ideas of mathematics, the nature of mathematics learning, and what according to them entitles learning of mathematics. About the project, this activity was a part of a Vigyan Pratibha project, which is Homi Bhabha Center of Science Education's Talent Nurture program. It aims at supporting high quality and well-rounded science and mathematics education. The activities under Vigyan Pratibha are aimed at encouraging students to think and engage in process of mathematics and science. Here is the link to the program. The study was conducted as part of a summer camp which was held for students from 7 different schools in Bombay. In the mathematical classroom that we are going to see today has the same set of activities, and there were two different teachers who conducted those activities with those students. We aim to understand how mathematically enriched tasks can give teachers the freedom to guide the students based on their own experiences, beliefs, and their understanding of students' engagements and preparations. So the data collection includes classroom observations, log files, and classroom videos. One of the teacher who has a doctorate in pure mathematics and has a minimal experience in actual classroom teaching, while the other teacher has a master degree in mathematics and has taught in a school for at least 5 years. Both of them have been mathematics educator more than a decade. This was an open exploratory activity that has been conducted in a classroom. Task 1 has the numbers, and on the second row the square of the numbers were written, and students were asked to find out as many patterns as they can from the table. In the second task, the natural number till 400 were written in the column of 8. First few squares were highlighted and students were asked to shade the remaining squares and also look at the patterns. Now just look at the classroom interactions. So in one of the classroom, when a student asked that if one multiplies a number and its consecutive number and then add a consecutive number, you will always get the square of consecutive number. To which the teacher added to the whole class that, what do you think? If I multiply 1027 into 1028 and add the 1028, will I get the square of 1028? The whole class coherently said yes to the teacher, and teacher wrote the same thing on the board and said that, are you sure really? What do you think? A teacher asked the question to the student. Then teacher asked the question to the student, and the student said that yeah, it could. So to which teacher responded that okay, it could, so it might not be. The way teacher has formed her questions indicates a lot about the belief that she had about mathematics, right? Teacher's discussion with the student goes on, and she says that what does happen if this is true? Or what does one do if when this happens? Third student in a classroom has responded that you make a theorem. Teacher one said that, acha, make it a theorem. So how do you make something as a theorem? And then another student, one more student is engaging and saying that by proving it. So teacher here in the whole classroom discourse that I explained to you says that, yeah, right, correct. You got a theorem here, right? If you had a statement, if you start proving it, then by proving you get a theorem. So one thing to know in this classroom is that teacher's own belief about mathematical statement. To become that statement a theorem, one needs to prove that has actually come from a student, but the way she posed the question in front of students made a lot of difference. Student has come up to the proving part of the statement. While in the other classroom, the teacher, who was already a teacher in a school, has stated in the before this class that okay, today we will be doing something different from what you do in a school, and you will be making mathematics. How do one make mathematics? After the certain discussion, one of the students came up with the pattern that the number between square numbers are increasing by 2. So teacher asked, what do you mean? And students say that between 1 and 4, the square numbers, that is 2 and 3. Between 4 and 9, that is 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is always increasing by 2. To which teacher responded, how will I know that what you are saying is correct? What if I take the bigger squares? Now, how many numbers are going to be there in between? On the discussion goes on. Another student says that the student one pattern is proven if we write all the numbers between two squares from 1 to 20 and we can see. Another student has suggested that one can write the C in front of 1 to 20. Student 3, one of other students says that that will not be the proof of student one's pattern. It is just the verification that one does. Now here, if you see that a teacher could have taken the discussion to the proving part of the statement that student one has made, but here what teacher engages in making more and more patterns in the classroom. To which I would like to conclude that in both the session, no doubt, students enjoyed finding patterns. They noted that these are the tasks where there are not just one pattern, but there are more patterns. And in both the instances, we saw that the researchers could conduct same kind of a task, but they have progressed very differently in the classroom. While in one classroom, we can say that the teacher emphasized more on students proving and pattern that has emerged in the classroom. In the other classroom, teacher has emphasized more on finding more and more patterns in different contexts. These are some of the references. I would like to acknowledge all the team members who have helped us in writing about this paper. Thank you.